FBI officers were disturbed to see that even if a prisoner was let loose in Alcatraz, he could still not escape. How did three prisoners escape right under the authorities' noses? The most surprising thing was that for the next 10 hours, the authorities had no clue about their escape. Not only the FBI, but also three top-level agencies had put in a lot of effort to solve this case. We are talking about a jailbreak that has been unsolved for the last 60 years and has now become a mystery for the world. Once again, welcome, viewers, to Tales of Stories. This small island in the Pacific Ocean spans just 22 acres, but it housed some of the most dangerous criminals in the world. This island was built on a very large rock in the sea, which is why it is also called the Rock. First, this island is surrounded by the ocean for miles, and secondly, for extra protection, a 15-foot-high fence was built around it, monitored 24/7 by guards. Since it is located at the opening of the Pacific Ocean, strong winds and cold, bone-chilling waters with high waves always surround this island. Considering all these conditions, it was declared a federal prison in 1934, where extreme security was maintained. In short, once someone got in here, it was almost impossible to get out. This prison gained a reputation for being inescapable, but on June 11, 1962, the crown of Alcatraz was broken when three prisoners managed to escape by outsmarting its security. The characters in this story are John and Clarence Anglin, often known as the Anglin brothers, who ended up here due to a bank robbery. Then there's Frank Morris, an exceptionally intelligent convict with a high IQ who had been intermittently in and out of Alcatraz for 13 years due to bank robbery. Lastly, there's Alan West, who had attempted to escape from other prisons multiple times, hence he was placed in maximum security in Alcatraz. Alan West was quite experienced, and therefore he was better informed about the compound than others in this prison. The idea for the escape from Alcatraz was first introduced to his accomplices by Alan West in 1960. Alan had identified a loophole in Block B of the prison that might make their escape somewhat possible. The issue was that these four would only meet during lunch breaks or during their work shifts, and they were not in the same cells in Block B. They all worked hard to get themselves shifted to adjacent cells in Block B, which was their first target. Over the next 2 years, they cooked plans in their cells without anyone catching wind of it. On July 12, 1962, according to routine, at around 6 a.m., the prison staff went to wake all the inmates for assembly. During the count, it was noted that 3 prisoners were missing. When the staff checked the cells again, they found the Anglin brothers, along with Frank Morris, sleeping in their beds. This did not seem normal to them, and they tried to wake them, during which they saw only dummy heads on the beds. Yes, those 3 had successfully escaped, and they had placed dummy heads made of soap, toilet paper, real hair, plaster, and concrete mix in their beds. One dummy head fell and broke due to a guard's hand touching it, as can be seen in this photo. Upon seeing this scene, the entire prison staff was bewildered. They assumed that the prisoners could not have escaped from the island, so they began a massive search of the entire island. However, no sign of them could be found. Everyone was puzzled as to how 3 prisoners could escape from such high security. It should be noted that Alan West was not among those who escaped. He was the one who was supposed to provide the plan, but on the final night, the reinforcement grease he used to secure his vent grid had hardened, freezing the grill in place. By the time he managed to break it open, his friends were already gone, leaving him behind. An investigation team was called in and the FBI was notified. It was discovered that the 3 had escaped by breaking through the small vents installed in their cells. The shock came when it was found that there were not just 3 but 4 damaged vents on the other side of the wall. Yes, the 4th vent belonged to Alan West, who had failed to exit through his vent for some reason. Alan realized that there was no way he could escape now, and thus thought it was in his best interest to inform the investigators about the escape plan to secure a better deal. This is what Alan did. He said to the investigators that he made the dummy heads and that he had stolen the hair used in them from the prison barbershop during haircuts. Each of the 4 cells had a small vent measuring 5 by 9.5 inches. Alan knew the loopholes in these cells because he had worked in the maintenance of the prison. He knew that the walls were aging and damaged by moisture, making the concrete weak, so the vent's cover could easily be removed. For months, all four had been waiting for the opportunity to pull off this plan. They used spoons and discarded saw blades stolen from the kitchen and workshops to do this, and eventually they crafted a crude drill machine from the motor of a broken vacuum cleaner. They used this device to drill holes around the vents. To hide the noise of their digging, Frank Morris would play his accordion loudly during the prison's daily music hour. When there was enough noise, a guard would not suspect anything in the corridor. The dugout vents led them to an unguarded utility corridor right behind their cell walls. This corridor led directly to the roof of Block B via a series of large pipes, which was often worked on for maintenance. In Alcatraz, prisoners were kept busy by having them do maintenance work, and these four prisoners worked on the roof, which gave them a perfect chance to gather information about everything they might need for their escape. From the roof, they used a large ventilation shaft pipe to descend 50 feet to the ground and climbed over the island's 15-foot-high fence to escape from the northeastern shore. They had fully prepared for their escape and had already constructed a 6 by 14-foot inflatable raft by joining more than 50 rubber raincoats together, melting the seams using hot steam pipes in the utility corridor. These raincoats were provided by the prison administration or stolen from other inmates, which they were collecting in various ways. To inflate this raft, they smartly converted a small musical instrument, a concertina, into a makeshift air pump. Additionally, they also made life jackets from these raincoats that would keep them afloat in the rough waters during their escape. However, the FBI was still left with the question of where the escaping prisoners had gone. Their fourth partner, Alan West, indicated that according to the plan, they were supposed to first cross north of Alcatraz to Angel Island, which had almost no security, and from there steal a vehicle and clothes before heading to the mainland. A search was conducted around all the land surrounding Alcatraz, but there were no reports of vehicle theft or robbery on Angel Island. Some investigators believe that the prisoners who escaped by tricking the supposedly impossible security were swallowed by the treacherous sea currents. They thought Alan West's story about Angel Island might have been fabricated to mislead the FBI, or perhaps the plan failed in the water. Yet there was no solid sign of their death left anywhere either. The footprints on the roof of Block B and the discarded tools in the utility corridor, where all these activities took place, confirmed Alan West's story of the setup was not a lie. Now, alongside the FBI, the Coast Guard, the Bureau of Prisons, and the US Marshals Service also joined the case, and searches began in the ocean for the prisoners, but neither the prisoners nor any intact raft was found. This case was becoming a deep mystery. In the following months, Coast Guards found a makeshift wooden paddle that was believed to be part of the raft. After that, plastic wrap bags made from the raincoats were discovered, containing personal items of the prisoners such as family photos, addresses, and letters. From this, it was inferred that the three prisoners likely did not make it to land because those items are things no prisoner would easily leave behind. Normally, any dead body, after a while, would float on the surface of the water. However, in the following months, the investigation team found neither any verified bodies nor body parts in the bay. One strong theory was that the three prisoners may have successfully made it to land by using their raft, because after the escape in 1962, the FBI had closely monitored the families of the brothers. One of their nephews, David Widner, informed the FBI that John and Clarence's elder brother had told his sisters before dying that their brothers were alive and in contact with him from South America. Many family members also reported to the FBI that during family functions and special holidays, two women dressed strangely with heavy makeup showed up, which might have been John and Clarence in disguise. However, after that, they vanished. Additionally, 15 years after the escape, a childhood friend and cousin of the brothers claimed to have run into both brothers in a club in Brazil in 1975, and even took a photo of them standing near a farm. Their family firmly believes that these were indeed the escaped brothers, but the Marshal Service investigators later stated that the facial recognition technology used on the photo did not definitively match them, leaving it unconfirmed. In recent years, even scientific studies using advanced ocean current models in 2014 showed that if the prisoners launched their raft at exactly midnight, the tide would have actually helped them land safely near the Golden Gate Bridge rather than drowning them. Furthermore, a mysterious letter signed by Frank Morris surfaced in 2013,
claiming he was alive, had cancer, and that all three had survived that legendary night. The very next year following the escape, in 1963, Alcatraz was permanently closed due to skyrocketing operating costs, and in 1979, after giving up, the FBI also officially closed its files on the case. Now only the US Marshals Service remains on the hunt, where this active case is still open today and will remain so until the prisoners are caught, their dead bodies are officially found, or they reach the age of 100 and are legally confirmed dead. Today, Alcatraz Island has been transformed into a famous national park where thousands of tourists can see the same rusted bars of Block B, where Frank Morris, the Anglin brothers, and their companion Alan West pulled off the greatest prison break in history 60 years ago. We hope you liked and shared this video from Tales of Stories. Thank you very much for your loving comments. See you in the next wonderful